Welcome, it's Miss Jane here, and I am joined by my friend. Again, we've done this before, but it was many moons ago, the lovely Tanya Carne. Welcome to, well, we're at the bar, even though we're not, we are at the bar. Hello, Miss Tanya.
Hi, Miss Jane. It's so great to be here.
It's so good to have you here because we are bursting to share the birth of your baby, but we'll talk about that shortly. For those listeners who don't know anything about you, perhaps you could just give a little bit of a brief introduction to, you know, where you are in the world, what lights you up, and things like that.
Okay. Well, I have had a studio in, I'm in Sydney, sort of in the, in the sort of inner suburbs of Sydney. And I've had a studio for 30 years and it's gone through lots of evolutions and can't have our 30th concert this year. That's okay. About 14 years or so ago, I realized that there were a lot of boys who wanted to dance, and it was, for me, a natural progression for my studio because I had an accessibility. I was teaching a school at the time, using their hall. So boys would just come to the classes, and then I found myself, like everybody else, going, oh, what do I do with them? And it was an inconvenience, a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit like, okay, and we've got to be, oh, I want you to come and I want you to stay, but I'm not sure what to do with you. And it was, I have this little mission in life that things I don't know about, I like to learn more about. And that was one of the things that became my passion. And then more and more boys started coming, and it became this, trial and error, and the boys themselves actually helped me evolve what is now my boys program, which we're going to be talking about. But also in the evolution of that, I realized that there were a lot of other boys that were on their own at studios. They were kind of, doing classes that might have been jazz or tap or ballet or hip hop, but they were kind of on their own, or there was a little group of them. That's when Connect was born, my Connect Boys Dance event in 2016, which we've had in Sydney, and went to Melbourne last year with the event, so successfully and so wonderful. But I wanted to bring boys together for a day, not for competition or anything else. I just wanted to bring them together for support, for inspiration, for fun, and some dancing. So it was sort of like workshops, but it was also a way to connect each other. But then I realized I still love Connect, and it's still really important in the landscape, but I realized that still there weren't enough boys in studios, and it was glaringly obvious to me that there was a hole there. There was a hole. And people that I'd spoken to, including people like yourself, when I'd done when I was able to do talks at places like Come Together and VDF, that people were still wondering what to teach boys and how to keep them in the studios. And there's so many things that encompass that. And I was like, let's put all my information, all my knowledge and resources and things I'd built using, on the back of mistakes or failures or stuff that just didn't work, and put it together in a program. That's taken about 5 years. I kept saying, I'm going to do it. It's happening. It's on its way. And finally, it's happened.
The longest pregnancy ever, but it's born and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. What a beautiful baby you've made.
It's around the world.
It is. I can speak with experience because, of course, I would like to say I was first in line, but as it happened, I was pipped at the post and I was second in line to get your program. And I have been teaching boys for 5 years. And I have a group of boys that I've had for 4 years, and I'm super proud of that because I've had the same cohort of boys. They were 4 and they're now 8, and I adore them. And you know that because I send you pictures of them all the time.
Yes.
So last week was the first time, and I shared this with you before we started, last week was the first time in that 5 years that I felt after, getting into your program, that I did not feel like a fraud. So I'm a classical ballet teacher. I have been for 25 years. And it was the first time I didn't feel like a ballet teacher teaching hip hop. So the fact of the matter is that if you can walk, you can dance. And I think a whole lot of dance teachers have some limiting beliefs around teaching boys. I think they've got limiting, I know I did. Well, I can't do that because, I specialise in ballet. Well, you know what I've learned, Tanya, this year? That's crap. I had a limiting belief around that. Not so much about the hip hop. I sorted that out a couple of years ago. But this year I've taught myself how to tap and I love it. I love it. Tap is one of my favourite lessons, right? I teach, I'm back teaching contemporary. So I put myself in this box because I decided. And I wonder how many other people have decided. They've just gone, no, I can't teach boys because that's not what I do. So I'm here to say, get rid of that limiting belief. If you want boys in your studio, then do the work with you. So cut out. I mean, if you don't want to, then sure, spend the next 14 years doing what you've just done. But if you want to fast forward, then do the work with you. Before we get into that a little bit more, because it's so exciting and I'm going to have to watch that time, I tell you. Can you tell me, I've got 2 questions I'm going to ask everybody in my centre stage interviews. So these are about bringing awesome dance studio owners who have that little bit on the side, that side hustle, to the centre of the stage. Can you tell me what is a motto that you live by?
My favourite one at the moment, has been for a while, is the condensed Maya Angelou, when you know better, you do better. And that, I think, is promoted through my lifelong love of learning, and knowing that I live by that. When I know better, I do better. I seek to do better, and perhaps that's why I'm learning more. So, yes, that's my motto I live by.
I love it. Perfect. And how I'm all about openly rejecting the hustle, which is why I'm always going to include this, because I feel like there's a burnout culture in dance studio owners and I want to expose it, and I want to reject it, because I think, we are so driven by passion that we get literally fired up. But sometimes it's like we are on fire. So I'm really intentional about trying to encourage people to remember that they are more than the fire. So how do you relax? How do you chill out?
Great question. There's a couple of things. Exhaustion, which, we're talking about the hustling. Exhaustion, I literally lie on the lounge and watch Netflix till I think, oh, okay, that's enough Netflix now. Who does that? But I do, or I fall asleep. That's relaxing out of exhaustion, and I don't love that, because relaxation for me should be more than just catatonic state. So other relaxation, depending on state of mind, love the beach. Love even when the beach is moody and massive waves like it is here in New South Wales, and moody and stormy, and I don't know, there's somehow I attach to the fierceness of nature and the wildness of it, and that, I don't know, it's sort of I probably draw on the energy of that, and on the calmer oceans, and on it's a very meditative sort of state for me. So the beach. But another one that I'll reveal to you, which is one of my little secret kind of ways I like to relax, is to play. I love play.
Perfect.
And I am that person who will build Lego. And I've got no kids here. I will play. I will grab some fabric. I've got too many craft boxes, as many people do, but I'll grab some craft. I'll make some stuff, and then I'll look at it and go, well, whatever.
That
But
was fun.
I love
Yeah.
play.
I do too. I do too. Yeah, I am definitely the mum that grabs the shopping trolley and like shoots down the aisle because it feels childlike and playful. And I also like the look on my children's faces. Of course, if they did it, I'd probably tell them off. Beautiful. All right,
That's the thing.
let's get back to Bstreet Crew. We are talking about teaching boys. We're getting boys into our studios. What do you see is because when I think of boys in dance, I think of you. You know that, and I think that's becoming more and more the connection. What do you think people are scared of about, or what do you hear? Because I know people are talking to you. What are people scared of about teaching boys?
Mostly the energy and what to do with it, because it is, the energy. And that's why people say, oh, well, I've got my boys in with the girls. And yeah, if that works for you, totally. It doesn't, because I have a crap load of boys, a whole lot of them. And they're in. Once they've hand sanitized, they're in. They want to own the space. It's their space. They want to run around. They want to they want to own it. That's scary for some people. And I totally get that, because it's like having to, cast a very wide lasso and go. So just content, because content can be routines. And a lot of teachers will go, okay, I can choreograph a routine for boys, so let's do routines. I do get a lot of kids who come to me who do great routines, but their skill level is, where is their, and look, the Bstreet Crew program actually has technique, because I'm a ballet girl from 5 years old.
Yeah.
I was a ballet girl. I love discipline in dance. I love, and not that old fashioned discipline. I love the discipline of an understanding of a technique, of what's driving the moves and the steps, but then also giving kids foundational strengths, steps, moves, things that they can then play with and use in freestyle or use in moves and feel creative and strong. So I think that's what people are worried about a teacher. And that was the thing for me, that everywhere that I and everybody I spoke to, there were people who were saying, look, I've got a great teacher with my boys at the moment. But I'm worried that, this teacher is going to go and get a contract somewhere, or go and teach somewhere else, or their main job, their full-time job, is going to take them away. So this is where the little problems arise with teaching boys. So that was really instrumental in driving driving the program the way that it's been presented, allowing people who aren't teachers, even teachers of hip hop, who haven't taught boys before, to understand the content, and just to be able to go, okay, let's give it a go and see if it works. It's also very progressive. So boys want to keep coming back. They learn stuff. They want to keep coming back, because it's challenging in a way that gives them that desire, that intrinsic desire to come back. So those are the things that most people have said to me, and the ways to I've got ways to harness, and I hate the word harness, but channel that wonderful energy into some great life-changing, really, for a dance, energy. Because it changes you as a very comfortable kind of going along, bowling along, as we've done with the girls. And then all of a sudden it's like this beautiful boy bomb happens in your studio, and you're like, what?
That's your new hashtag, boy bomb. I like that. Let's use that. Bstreet Crew hashtag boy bomb. So what got us here isn't going to get us there. That's what got me through like the last 5 years. So I'm with those teachers that have that fear, and I mean, we could probably scroll back through our phone, Tan, and look at the messages that perhaps I sent you that was like, what the actual it is going on here, right? Because I was used to ballet girls coming, sitting down, listening to the role, standing at the bar, away we went. Now, you know, my boys come in, they sit down, but they spin on their backs, let's be honest, while they're taking off their shoes. But we've developed a routine. And a lot of what I started to do when I felt out of my depth was look at, well, how do sports training sessions run? So, you know, I'd sat and watched a soccer training session. I've got a bigger brother, so I'd been to lots of his stuff. There was taekwondo in the hall next door when I used to run out of a hall, and I noticed the discipline there. So I was like, okay, I'm just kind of looping back to what you said about, you know, discipline in inverted commas. You can have structure. Like, I think people get so scared that they're like, oh, but, you know, if it's too rule-based. No, boys, they respond. You just got to have these boundaries, these little kind of things. So, yeah, we need to get over the fear and that limiting belief. And I think having our hand held while we're conquering that fear through the support of a program will be hugely empowering, you know, which is what you're setting out to do. What about, I know we talk about going into the studio for the first time. My studio is 15 years old. Ballet teacher, you know, my dream for my dance school was a ballet school because that's what I was brought up in. That has obviously evolved like your journey did. But there are still a lot of schools that you go in, and as an 8-year-old boy, what do they look like?
Yeah, it's, look, and I'm a person who is very aware of people and feeling and shame-inducing comments.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that we do need to remember, I'll just backtrack a little bit here. Our studios are changing. They have changed. People have changed. I've noticed that change is either happening to people or is going to change. This is very big awareness now of what's going on. We need to shift our thinking about who we're wanting to bring into our beautiful spaces, who needs our beautiful spaces in the future, not only for our dance moves, but for our beautiful raising of great mental health, how the beautiful benefits of dance that dance can bring, the discipline to kids' lives, the being away from screens, all of that sort of stuff, except if you're on Zoom, and I get that. But we need to look at our studios through the eyes of that 7-year-old boy. I have had so many 7-year-old boys come into my studio the last week. Thank you, because it's been amazing. I love it. It's like, for me, it's like I'm telling people, because I'm actually living this every single day. I'm getting the inquiries. I'm getting the new boys in. And they're looking at my studio and they walk in. I'm still running out of a beautiful hall, but my space is welcoming. It's secure, it's inviting, but it's also very neutral. And I think this is really, really important, because if you're bringing a boy into a space that says, we love girls at our studio, without even saying a word, we're here for girls, we're all about the girls and the whatever, then boys are thinking they're going into somebody else's space rather than a space that's open for them. And this is part of the process of the studio audit with Bstreet Crew, is to really spend some time and look at your space and go, does a 7-year-old boy, because 7-year-old boys can be really reserved, or they can be really, over the top. Both of those going to walk in and go, oh, this is great space, I'm going to do some dancing here and I'm going to love it. Or, oh, girls usually come here, you know, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be here even. So yeah,
We
that's
feel
part of the
so,
process that I take people through.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to raise it, because, you know, within the program, you've got some guiding questions, and also in that, and I know you touched on that word shame. This isn't about shaming. This is about awareness. This is just about looking through a different lens, taking off our glasses and putting on theirs. And that is the base of empathy, isn't it? You know, I'm using glasses instead of shoes, but and yeah, it's step one. It's step one. And all we want more than ever as humans is to belong. And when we feel secure in that we belong, then we let our guard down a little bit. We begin to relax. We begin to feel less vulnerable, and we're more open to learning. And that's where I have seen my boys thrive, because they belong together. They've got their little tribe. They're all super different, but connected. And some of them go off and do a jazz class, you know, where they are the only boy in the class, but they're okay about that, because they know that they've got this connection, this tribe that's got their back. So you've kind of answered this, but I'm going to ask it in a really direct way, just to kind of really let people know how you feel about this. There is the idea traditionally that boys should only be taught by boys. What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you for asking that one,
she
Jane.
Giggles.
Well, you know, the thing is that when we send our kids to school, we don't say, hey, principal, you know, one of the, you know, 500 to 800 students, however many in the school, hey, principal, I want my daughter to be taught by a female. Got it? Okay. Because I think that's the way it should go. It's the same as the soccer coach, okay? So my daughter played soccer. Should she be coached by a female coach? Should boys be only coached by men coach? Like, this is where I sort of, I raise the issue with people, because, you know, it's such an important thing to understand that our teachers have qualities that are, you know, really, really the most important thing. Love of learning, love of teaching, being able to build rapport with students, wanting to see progression, wanting them to stay in class, wanting them to thrive, and really whatever their personality traits and strengths in people. So, you know, I've said this to so many people. I'm a 51-year-old woman. I've been teaching boys for, you know, for 14 years. And that time there has been, nobody said to me, oh, you're not a man, but, you know, they wouldn't dare, because it would be really strange. But one thing that's helped is, and helped build, you're talking about trust within the boys themselves. You know, one of the things that I'm most proud of is our ability to retain our boys. Some of my senior boys, bless them, I've watched them grow up, and they come to their Friday class each week for social, for the social aspect of it, but also because they love me. They love how I connect them. They love how I challenge them. They love that I care about what they're doing and how they're learning. And that is a teacher. That's a teacher. That's my qualities and my personal traits. And I'm not a man. I think it's great. I have guest teachers in that are men, but I honestly believe it's about the person who teaches. And that's why I would love to encourage studios who do have great, awesome teachers to actually learn this program and to attempt to teaching it, because it's a bit like taking a bit of a leap of faith in yourself and in your own, or in your staff, in your team, and in their abilities to go, okay, try this. It works. They don't know that, but give it a go, because it is. And I do understand that, you know, people think it's, you know, males relate to males, especially in dance. And at our Connect Boys dance events, we have men, because they share an empathy. But yes, I think hopefully I've answered.
No, I love it. And I think, well, connect is different again. I mean, the reason you've got the guys there is to show, is to build community, and back to that tribe, back to that, hold on, you are not alone. Look, there are people out there that have traveled this path. And we all need people like that. We all need people like that. And that's where the magic is. Certainly, if people can get a group that then they can retain, that go first, so to speak, then it shows, it paves the way for the little guys behind them. I'm so with you about the teaching. When you were talking and you mentioned your beautiful daughter in soccer, and my Alana, played football, AFL a couple of years ago, which I loved, because I was giggling, because I was picturing her come into the studio in her AFL gear, and then get changed like Superwoman and come out in her ballet gear, and it just, every time it made me giggle. I was like, what a girl.
Yeah.
Her coach was a man. Yeah. Her coach was a man. So, like, that's fine. Yeah. And I didn't think, oh, well, she should have a girl because she's a girl. So why are we putting these ideas into the dance studio? It's movement. It's activity. Call it sport if you want. I don't want to, but I think we've just got these ideas that we just need to let go, be gone. Yeah. So let's talk about Bstreet Crew. I know we've kind of danced around the edges, pun intended. We get into the portal. It's amazing. And I said to you after I got in, I was like, holy wow, I actually got teary, because you're my soul sister. I know what it's like to build a program. It is lonely as hell, Tan. I've got Dance Step. You sit there and you do those videos to no one, and you wonder, will anybody ever watch this? What am I doing? You have to overcome all of this stupid self-sabotage. And so I sat down, I had my laptop and my pen, and I was ready to go, and I just was like, oh, she bloody did it. She bloody did it. Anyway, sorry, a bit Australian there, sorry. So I'm so proud of you. And I hope that doesn't sound patronising, because it's not my intention at all. I was just like, sister, doing it. Yes. So we log in, and there's your beautiful face and your boys. You've got your boys dancing there, who I already adore. What else do we get? We've logged in. What else do we get?
Oh, thank you. Yes, you've just described my journey completely with this program, and then it's like that baby. Look at my baby. Isn't it beautiful? And people are looking like, oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Don't work so hard. But yes, it's you do, and it is lonely. And then it's almost like it's like, it's out. It's done. Okay. And I've stepped away for a little bit and gone, okay. But yes, thank you so much. I love that you've logged in. I've loved that you've connected with it. The program is delivered as a course through Thinkific. Now, that was the best way for the material that I was offering to be in a logical progression for people to go. If you were going to have a teacher train in it, or you were going to look through it yourself, you've got that little introduction module, kind of shows you around a little bit, gives you the details, gives you all that. Then you get to log in through for free the rest of the stuff. The rest of the stuff is the resources, and the resources are, you get to learn the games, you get to learn the moves, you get to learn my 4 core components that are actually the backbone. You get all my knowledge of how to do bits and pieces, how to look for teachers, how to market. Now, marketing is my new area of like, I want to learn more about marketing. I'm like, I've got this voracious appetite. So I'm getting more into the marketing. But you've got content ready to go. So if you go, oh, I want to teach a coffee grinder today. You get to look through that content. It's in a logical progression, hopefully, for people to look at. Then you've got the actual program, the classes. So I've got class plans there for you, and I'm going to be producing more. But it's got it hopefully in a way that everybody is able to look at it and go, okay, I'm going to read through that class plan. I'll just go with that today. There's going to be more. I've got some fabulous, I've got some fabulous grooves coming, some hip hop grooves that the boys absolutely love. They're a little bit like viral TikTok moves, Fortnite moves, but they're not those. There are others that they can do and share, and they love doing those. But there is so much more coming, and there is so much more content. So I'm so excited. I get so passionate about it because it is, I'm doing it. I'm doing it every single day in my studio. So it's not as if I've gone, oh, that would be lovely, and we'll put that in there.
No, exactly. Yeah. And that's
lots and lots of moves.
Yeah, no, I love it. And it's very easy to use. I know Thinkific anyway, because that's the same platform I used for dance steps. So I was like, oh, I'm on this. Yeah, I know how to use this. Yeah. See, soul sister.
I did not know that, Jake. Awesome.
So, and it is really user-friendly, so user-friendly. And what I've done is I've just saved the tab on my computer so that I can just go click, there it is, fabulous, I'm ready to go. So it's Tuesday, I've got my boys this afternoon. Your spirit is always with us. I feel like actually you're always there. My boys know about you, because often, as you know, I say, let's video this and we'll send it to my friend Tanya. So they love that too.
I love it.
If it's good, I only send it if it's good. So, all right, where can we find out more? I'll put these in the show notes too, but give yourself a plug.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Bstreetcrew.com. That's our website. You get to check in. You get to have a look around. You've got lots of lovely buttons where you can press to buy now. At the moment, it's all there. One of the things I want for people to know is that you've also got support. Yeah. So the Bstreet Crew program is all about consistency, but it's also about support from me because I want to make it work for you. I'm here for people who want it to work, and I will be with you every step of the way. So there are coaching calls available with me. We sit down, we talk about what you want for the future. We plan. I've done my life coaching. I've done my coaching and counselling studies. So I'm able to actually elicit some really great stuff from people as well. Social media, Bstreet Crew. We don't have many people on our Instagram at the moment. But we're getting there. It's building. Facebook, we've got a private group at the moment. We're going to actually have a page soon, but I've been nurturing our little community that's been really interested. We've also got, when you get the program, you get part of the Bstreet Crew Clubhouse.
Yeah, because I'm in the Clubhouse.
Goes through. We share videos, I do lives, I check in with our crew, with our gorgeous crew. So it's all there. The support is 100% there. So if you've ever got a question, like we did video last week, doing the merry-go-rounds, I'm like, okay, I'm in the studio, press record live for Jane. That's what I really want people to understand is the support as well.
No, love it. Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you, Tan. Loved every minute. I love talking about boys and dancing with you. I was very anti-boys 15 years ago, and I have come full circle. I adore them, as you know. Probably having a son did help me because who knew? They are just gorgeous. Boys are just gorgeous. All right. Beautiful. Thanks, my friend. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Bye.
Bye.